Hey everybody, Mike Linville here from Black Dog Education, and welcome back to the last video in this series. Now, before we get started with the last content piece, this pillar number 5, which really is going to kind of bring it all together, what I want to do is spend a little bit of time just going back and talking about the previous 4 videos, right? The last 4 things that we talked about. So the first thing that we talked about was having your website be affordable, right? It was the pillar of affordability. So, you know, a common problem or a common issue that some folks have is when they go through and get their websites created, if you've decided to get some professional help, you'll spend all your money on the website, and then when it's done, you've got this beautiful website, but no money to market it and drive traffic to it. Well, we know that traffic doesn't just happen, so you need to make sure that you've got some money on the back end when that site's done so that you can go ahead and generate some of that traffic, okay? So don't go try to do all of the bells and whistles up front. The right philosophy in this economy is to just kind of make sure that it's clean, make sure that it's professional, and make sure that it's going to serve one of your website's 3 primary functions, which is either going to be to build your brand, generate sales, or generate leads, okay? If it's not doing any one of those 3 functions or not supporting any one of those 3 functions, can it? Spend that money on marketing, okay? Pillar number 2 was maintainability. We talked about you being able to maintain your own website, and the reason why you would want to do that, there's really 2 reasons, right? One is going to be that you're going to save money. So instead of paying a web developer a couple $100s to make some changes and have him take however long he's going to take, go ahead and do it yourself. Take that money that you would have spent and put it into marketing, right? I mean, you don't necessarily need to have like an Anheuser-Busch or a Coca-Cola budget to do marketing for your business, you know what I mean? A couple $100s will get postcards out to your neighborhood, you know? Do some handwritten notes, whatever you can do, and use that money for postage, okay? It's all about making sure that you're staying in contact with your customers. Now, the number 3, the 3rd pillar that we talked about was trackability. What we had talked about was in any kind of marketing, what we're really focused on is we're focused on what's called your ROI, or your return on investment. And what that means is if you're going to spend $100 on marketing, right? It could be flyers, it could be a website, it could be whatever it's going to be. But if you're going to spend $100, you want to make sure that you get more than $100 back, right? If you spend $100 and you get $110 back, that means you just made $10 in profit. As a business owner, you're like, awesome, let's do that again. The problem is most marketing campaigns, they don't start off positive, they'll start off negative. So you'll spend 100 and maybe you only get 70 back. Does that mean that we have to give up that campaign? Absolutely not, right? Very rarely do things start off positive, you know, except for like viral kitten videos and stuff like that. So what we want to do is we want to be able to tweak and massage that campaign so that we can take a negative campaign and turn it positive. And the only way that we can do that is to make an educated guess in terms of what we want to change. The only way that we're going to get that information is to be able to track that information online, okay? We use Google Analytics. It's free. It's incredibly powerful, and I would suggest that you use it as well. Now, the 4th video, we talked about the fact that, you know, we didn't necessarily want to turn you into professional web developers. You don't need that. The cool part is that now technology has really caught up to where, you know, there are some very valuable tools, search engine optimized content management systems. So what may have cost you $5,000 a couple of years ago can cost you $500 today, and you can get to the same place, right? We're going to use leverage, and we're going to leverage pre-packaged tools. Remember, your website doesn't need to be custom. Nowhere on there does it say this was custom developed by X, Y, and Z. It just needs to be functional, right? It needs to be clean, it needs to be professional, and it needs to support one of your 3 business functions, right? Build your brand, generate sales, generate leads. And that gets us to today. Number 5. What we're going to talk about today, this kind of brings it all back together. If you're doing any kind of marketing now, you probably are getting people saying, you've got to do this, you have to do that. It's got to be Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all this other stuff, and it's really easy to get overwhelmed. Now, you know, when I was growing up, my mom used to tell me there was a saying. It was called being a jack of all trades, master of none. So what that means is that people that do a lot of different things, kind of mediocre, doing nothing really well. You know, in this economy, people do that as well with their marketing. And the problem is that it just doesn't work. So what we like to do is we like to push this philosophy forward. I like to call it my crawl, walk, run philosophy. So what we're gonna do, it's a philosophy of mastery. So instead of trying to do a bunch of different things on your website, what we're really gonna do is we're gonna focus on one thing. Let's focus on your website first, okay? Make sure that your website is working well. Most of them aren't, okay? Once your website is working well and you're ready to start driving some traffic or some engagement, don't try to do YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and Skidoo and all these other things all at once. Focus where you think your target market's going to be. If they're going to be on Facebook, focus on Facebook and just focus on that one thing until you do it really well. Get your strategy down and how you're going to do that, because the more that you work on that, the less time you're going to need to get the same result. Once you have that, once it's old hat, then you can bring in something else, right? You can bring in a Twitter, or you can bring in a YouTube, or whatever the case may be, okay? But what we're gonna do is we're gonna start small, we're gonna add something, and then bring that into our list of what we do very well. Because if you can do one or two things very well, you're gonna blow the pants off of your competition. This is Mike Linville from Black Dog Education. Until next time.
Want to become a full-blown web wizard? Just come on over to the DIYWordPressCreator.com for a free web series on how to build your own good-looking, professional website minus the expensive web guy or gal.